my channel. My name's Stace and this is my channel Stace in a Books, where I do vlogs now and again, especially evolving around a book that I'm reading or taking you out and about for different things like walks. I do book reviews, book recommendations, basically about books. So if you like that kind of thing, hit subscribe so you're notified that when I post a video, which hopefully I can try and do more regularly, trying to get into a routine of doing that. But in reality, I work kind of full time and have 3 children, so I do it as and when. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 5 books that I read in August. Yes, it doesn't sound a lot, but I have been out and about with the boys, going on a lot of nature walks, which I have thoroughly enjoyed, and we've learnt a lot about nature. But anyway, let's get back to it. The first book I read is A Tidy Ending by Joanna Cannon. Now, I did do a vlog on this at the beginning of the summer holiday, which I will link below, so if you haven't watched it yet, my thoughts as I read this, obviously I vlog. So for any of you who haven't seen it, a quick, it's definitely 5 out of 5 out of 5 stars. It is about Linda, who lives with her husband Terry. They've just moved, recently moved into a new house. Then a young woman, she's found murdered, and while everybody in the area is saying, oh, who's done it, you know, what, why, who, you know, trying to piece together what's been happening, Linda starts to become obsessed with finding out and becoming friends with the person who used to live in her house, and she does find her. Her name's Rebecca. She's probably about half of Linda's age, probably even more, because I think Linda's in her 40s, Rebecca's in her late teens, early 20s. But she managed to track her down. Rebecca sees her as the cleaning lady. Linda's more a bit, oh, she's my friend. She starts behaving oddly, where she borrows her clothes, goes through her things when she's not there. But yeah, as the story goes on, things do come a little bit weird. It does sound confusing, but also you find out that Linda's father died, and why, and her and her mother have to flee Wales, where they lived. But it's a great twist at the end. I don't want to say, because this is the best ending of a sort of mystery thriller book that I have ever read, and I'm not going to tell you the ending. You need to read this, because it's like, what? Huh? Oh my goodness. So yeah, definitely 5 out of 5 stars for this book this month. It's probably one of my favourite that I've read this year. But the twist at the end is, you've got to read it. You have to read it. So yeah, it's just a story about Linda, who becomes obsessed, but you find out why she becomes obsessed with this young girl. That's part of the twist at the end. But yeah, definitely 100% read it. You have to. The next few books that I read are on my Kindle, and bear with me. The first one I read after that was, if I can find it, because I like to show you the cover, is The Greek Island Killer by Frances Lloyd. This is a story, again another thriller whodunit. It's about Detective Jack and his new wife Corinne. They join 8 other people to go on a holiday on a very tiny island, a Greek island. One of them is a killer, but which one is it? As they're there, they get to know each other. You know, there's some flirting, a little holiday romance between 2 of them, but a storm cuts off all communication to this small island, because it's a small island. They only have the boat every couple of weeks. The owner at the holiday home is poisoned. Then a fellow holidaymaker is poisoned, and they manage to get the holidaymaker to the mainland, to a hospital. You know, Detective Jack is like, you know, obviously detective mode. He's a policeman. He wants to find out what's going on. And then an elderly holidaymaker is found dead in a cave because he's gone off on a boat with his wife. He's a bit of a grumpy old sod, you know, and not everyone's keen on him, but when they find out he's dead, they're like, oh no, what is going on? His wife is found in the cave, but she's alive and well and she's okay, but she kind of blames herself to start with. But really it's up to Jack. Can he find out who the killer is, because someone's going around poisoning people? It's a great twist at the end, because as you read on, you think, is it them? Then something else happens, you think, no, it's not them, it's got to be them. So you're going through all of them thinking it's them, kind of accusing them, but it's not. The twist, another book that's got a great twist at the end of who done it. And it was a great read and I couldn't put it down. So yeah, and I know Frances Lloyd has wrote more killer thriller books, so I definitely, this is not going to be the first that I've read or the last. It's definitely the first but not the last, yeah. But yeah, so if you like another murder mystery, this is another great one. And this is that one definitely is 5 out of 5 stars as well. And the third book that I read in August was Something About Greece by Sue Roberts. Yes, there's a bit of a theme going on for my August reads. I didn't get a holiday this year, just from things. And I really love Greece, so I just got in a very Greek mood. I ate Greek salads while reading this book, and the Greek Island Killer. But anyway, there's Something About Greece is a book about a story about Tanya. She's a young girl. Her boyfriend, he's cheated on her, so obviously they've now split up. Her parents live in Spain. She lives in England. She lives on her own. And she's still quite upset that her elderly dog's died, who's obviously her best friend and companion. One day her aunt, who lives on the island of Crete, Aunt Judith, she owns a rescue dog home with a couple of donkeys as well. Now, Tanya's been out there a couple of times just over the summer as a bit of a holiday and help out her aunt. But this time it's going to be a bit longer because Judith needs a knee operation. She needs her to come over to help. So Tanya, yeah, she sells a place, quits her job, and she goes out and she becomes friends with the other volunteers who are all around about the same age. You know, volunteering that in the morning, what they get up to in the afternoon. It's a bit of a nice summery cosy read, but the way that Sue Roberts described the island is 100% on, because I've been to a few Greek islands before, and the way it's described that in the mountains is where the rescue centre is, and how it's described with all the trees around and the road and the streams in the forests, and when they go down to the sort of beach area on the main bit where all the holiday makers are and all the shops and restaurants and stuff, it's just, I don't know, the description of it is just spot on. But obviously Tanya's there, and then she meets Nikos, who's sort of in the house kind of across the street. You know, they spend a lot of time together. She's fallen in love, but she's still kind of hurt. But then she does realise that there is life after being hurt. And it, you know, does she stay in Crete or does she go home after falling in love with Nikos? You know, you have to read it and see. But it's a cute, you know, cozy summary read. I definitely give this 5 out of 5 stars. I'm not a big sort of romantic read. I don't really read romance, but this one I did. It wasn't too in your face or too lovey-dovey. It was cute. So yeah, definitely 5 out of 5 for this one. The next book I read on my Kindle, if I can find the front cover very quickly, I'm doing it quite quick actually, is Mooncakes. Don't know whether you can see that. This is a graphic novel. It's about Nova, who is a teen witch, and she works with her in a bookshop with her 2 grandmothers. Tam is a werewolf, and they were friends when they're little. Tam moves away, and then he obviously comes back, and he's trying to stop a demon. So with the help of Nova and her grandmothers, Tam takes on the demon, obviously defeats it, because we have to have a happy ending. But Mooncakes is an autumn, more of an autumn read than a summer, but because I wanted to read it for ages and I found it on Kindle Unlimited for free under my subscription, I just had to get it and finally read it. But it's filled with witchcraft, werewolves, ghost parents, as Nova's parents are ghosts, and a Mid-Autumn Fair. So it's quite a cosy read. So yeah, with autumn approaching, maybe this one's a nice autumnal cozy one for you. But yeah, I gave it a 5 out of 5. It was well worth the wait. Yeah. And the last one, going back to my Greek theme, is Mythos by Stephen Fry. Now these are Greek retellings, such as the stories in Greek mythology, such as Zeus saving his brothers and sisters when he was 17 after being saved by his mother, because his siblings, once they were born, were swallowed by their father. He's hidden away. His mum obviously knows where he is, and then he helps them get out of the stomach, and he builds his sort of Greek god empire. Also the stories in there is about Pandora and her jar, what flies out the jar, and you know, she's a very curious person to open that jar after being told not to. Also covers another popular story of Athena, where she's born from the head of Zeus and how they have to sort of crack him open and, you know, born her. But it's definitely a good read. It's an easy read if you want to learn about the Greek mythology, instead of a lot of the textbooks are quite overwhelming. But this one is really, really nice. A nice read with all the stories. I have highlighted some of the bits because I quite enjoyed, that's this one, such as sorrowing at the death of her beloved servant, Hera took Argus's 100 bright eyes and fixed them onto the tail of a very dull old fowl, transforming it into what we know today as a peacock. So if you wonder why I like peacock eyes, you know, this where the stories originate from. How crows and ravens become black because they were once white. Let's find that passage. Was it Apollo lost his temper and turned it black? All crows, ravens and rooks ever since have been that colour. So it's just little things like that you learn about the origin of why, you know, ravens are black. How the peacock got his lovely eyes on his tail. But yeah, this is like, I gave this about 4.5 because some of the stories didn't really interest me, but then a lot of them did, and it's given me definitely a bit of a Greek mythology education. So yeah, they're my 5 reads that I did in August, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed them. It's been quite nice reading through the day, but obviously as I'm filming this, it's the last day of August and summer has gone and the weather has definitely turned. So with that, I'm going to leave that there. If you've read any of those, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I shall see you for another video again soon. Bye.